I opened my eyes to white ceiling tiles and the steady beep of a heart monitor. My mouth tasted like copper and antiseptic. For a moment, I forgot where I was. Then the pain in my abdomen reminded me. Emergency surgery, ruptured appendix. They'd told me it was life-threatening. I turned my head slowly. The hospital room was quiet. A single bouquet of grocery store carnations sat on the windowsill. A get well card propped against it. The chair beside my bed was empty. I'd been unconscious for almost 2 days, the nurse said when she came to check my vitals. 2 days. Your son called this morning, she mentioned, adjusting my IV. He sounded very concerned. I nodded. Of course he called. Michael always called. He just never showed up. I reached for my phone on the side table. My fingers felt clumsy, weak. 3 missed calls, all from my friend Janet, none from my children. I had 3 of them. Michael, 41, lived in Seattle. Rebecca, 38, was in Boston. Sarah, 34, just outside of Portland. All successful, all busy, all very, very far from their mother in Sacramento. I tried calling Michael first. Voicemail. Rebecca. Voicemail. Sarah picked up on the 5th ring. Mom, hey. I can't really talk right now. Meeting in 5 minutes. I just got out of surgery, I said. My voice sounded thin. I know, Michael texted me. You're okay though, right? They said you're fine. I'm alive. That's great, Mom. Listen, I'll try to call you tonight, okay? I really have to go. The line went dead. I set the phone down and stared at those carnations. The card was from Janet. Of course it was. I closed my eyes and thought about Tom. My husband would have been here. He would have canceled everything. He died 3 years ago from pancreatic cancer, and not a day passed that I didn't miss him. But especially now. Especially when I was lying in a hospital bed, alone, realizing that the children we raised together couldn't spare a few hours to see if their mother survived emergency surgery. Tom used to say, "They're just busy, Linda. They've got their own lives now." But toward the end, in those final months before the cancer took him, he'd gotten quiet about it. Thoughtful. He'd spent hours in his office, door closed, working on something. I'd asked him about it once. He just kissed my forehead and said, "Making sure you're taken care of, that's all." I drifted in and out of sleep for the rest of the day. Janet came by around 6, bringing real flowers and homemade soup the nurses said I couldn't eat yet. She sat with me for 2 hours, just talking, filling the silence. When visiting hours ended, she squeezed my hand. "I'll be back tomorrow," she promised. That night I dreamed about the house. The house Tom and I bought 42 years ago for $165,000. It was worth over $1 million now. Sacramento real estate had exploded. We'd raised our 3 children there. Every room held memories. Tom had built the deck himself. I'd planted the garden. It was ours. It was mine now. The social worker came the next morning. Her name was Patricia, and she had kind eyes and a clipboard. She said she needed to discuss my discharge plan. Where would I be staying? Did I have help at home? Could I manage stairs? "I'll be fine," I told her. "I've got my house. Everything's on 1 floor anyway, mostly." Patricia's expression shifted, just slightly. A flicker of something. Confusion? Concern? "Mrs. Chen," she said carefully, "I'm sorry, but there seems to be some confusion. According to our records, your address is listed as being in escrow." "In escrow? What does that mean?" "It means your home is in the process of being sold." I laughed. Actually laughed. "That's impossible. I'm not selling my house." Patricia looked down at her clipboard. "The paperwork we have shows that the sale was initiated 12 days ago, while you were admitted." The room tilted. "Who initiated it?" "According to this, you signed a power of attorney to your son Michael Chen, and he executed the sale on your behalf." I couldn't breathe. The heart monitor started beeping faster. A nurse rushed in, checked my vitals, asked if I was all right. I wasn't all right. Nothing was all right. Patricia stepped back, said she'd give me time to process, that we could talk later. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands, called Michael. Voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. I texted him, "Call me now." Then I called Rebecca. She picked up. "Mom, what's wrong? Is my house being sold?" Silence. Long, horrible silence. "Rebecca, answer me. We were going to talk to you about it." "About selling my house without telling me?" "Mom, don't be dramatic. You're not well. You can't live alone anymore. This surgery proved that. You were on the floor for 6 hours before anyone found you. Mrs. Patterson found me after 4 hours, not 6, and I'm perfectly capable. You're 62 and just had emergency surgery." Michael talked to an elder care attorney. "With your power of attorney authorization, we can make health care and financial decisions on your behalf. The house is too much for you. We found a lovely assisted living facility. I never signed any power of attorney." Another pause. "You did, Mom, 2 years ago. Don't you remember, when Dad was sick? You said we should be able to make decisions if anything happened to you." I had signed something, but it was for medical emergencies only, for if I was incapacitated. I told her that. "Well, the document covers financial decisions too. Michael had the lawyer review it. It's all legal." "Where's my money going, Rebecca?" "What?" "The house is worth over $1 million. Where is that money going?" "Into an account for your care, obviously. The facility is expensive, Mom, and we'll split whatever's left. Eventually, it's our inheritance anyway." Our inheritance. The words hung in the air like poison. "You can't do this." "It's already done, Mom. The buyers close in 3 weeks. Michael found a place that has an opening next month. One of those nice communities with activities and nursing staff. You'll love it." I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped the phone. I'd raised them. I'd given them everything. I'd worked double shifts as an ER nurse for 15 years to help pay for their colleges. Tom had driven them to every soccer game, every dance recital, every debate tournament. We'd been there for every moment of their lives. And the moment I was vulnerable, the moment I needed them, they saw an opportunity. Janet arrived an hour later. I told her everything. She went pale, then red, then very, very quiet. Finally, she said, "I need to make a phone call." 20 minutes later, Janet's nephew, David, walked into my hospital room. He was 35, a trusts and estates attorney, and he looked furious. "Tell me everything," he said. I did. Every detail. David took notes, asked questions, pulled up documents on his laptop. After an hour, he sat back. "Here's what I can tell you. If you truly didn't sign a comprehensive power of attorney, this is fraud. But proving it will take time, and you said the sale closes in 3 weeks. So I'm going to lose my house." "Maybe not." David hesitated. "Do you remember your husband working with an attorney before he died? An estate attorney?" "He said he was updating his will." "Did he ever give you documents? A trust agreement? Anything?" I thought hard. "There's a safe deposit box. At Bank of America. He gave me a key before he died. Said only to open it if I ever felt unsafe. I never understood what he meant." David stood up. "We need to get to that bank." I was discharged the next day against medical advice. Janet drove me straight to the bank. My hands shook as I inserted the key. Inside the box was a thick folder. David opened it, started reading, and his eyebrows went up. "Mrs. Chen, your husband was a very smart man." "What is it?" "It's not just a will. It's a revocable living trust. And your house isn't in your name. It's in the trust's name. Has been for 3 years." "I don't understand." "If the house is in the trust, and you're the trustee, then Michael couldn't legally sell it even with a power of attorney because he has no authority over trust assets. Only you do. So the sale is invalid, completely void. He can't sell what he doesn't have the power to sell." I felt something crack open in my chest. Relief, rage, grief. But they tried. My own children tried to steal my home. David kept reading. His expression changed. "Mrs. Chen, there's more. Your husband included a no contest clause. Anyone who challenges the trust or attempts to circumvent it forfeits their entire inheritance. Not just from the trust, from everything. What does that mean? It means your kids just disqualified themselves. There's money in this trust. Investments, life insurance payouts. According to this, if they attempted to claim or sell your house against your wishes, they get nothing. I stared at the papers. Tom had known. Somehow, he'd known. There was something else in the box. A USB drive with my name written on it in Tom's handwriting. David plugged it into his laptop. A video file. I clicked play. Tom's face filled the screen. He was thin, so thin. This was near the end. His home office was behind him. He smiled at the camera, but his eyes were sad. "Hi, sweetheart. If you're watching this, then something's gone wrong. Something I hoped wouldn't happen but suspected might." My eyes filled with tears. "I need to tell you something I should have said when I was alive. Our kids are not who we raised them to be. I don't know when it happened. Maybe it was gradual. Maybe we were too blind to see it. But over these last few years I watched them, really watched them, and I saw something that scared me." He paused, took a breath. "Rebecca called me 6 months before my diagnosis. Asked if we'd considered selling the house, moving somewhere smaller, said the equity was wasted on us. Michael sent me articles about reverse mortgages," Sarah asked, more than once, "about our life insurance policies. They thought I didn't notice, but I did. I remembered those conversations. I'd dismissed them as concern. Tom clearly hadn't. When I got sick, it got worse. They visited, sure, but Linda, I heard them talking in the hallway about what they'd do with their share, about how long the doctor said I had, about whether you'd need care after I was gone, and how expensive that would be. They were calculating our deaths like a business transaction." Tears ran down my face. "So, I did something about it. I moved everything into a trust. The house, the investments, the insurance money, all of it. And I protected it with a clause that would trigger if anyone tried to take it from you. I talked to an estate attorney for months. We made it bulletproof." Tom leaned closer to the camera. "Here's what they don't know. Every penny I earned, I put into this trust for you, not for them. You were my wife for 40 years. You stood by me through everything. You deserve to live in your home, in peace, for as long as you want. The kids will get their inheritance when you're gone, but only if they treat you with respect. Only if they don't try to steal from you." He wiped his own eyes. "If they've done what I think they've done, if they've tried to force you out of your home, then the trust clause activates. They get nothing now. Zero. The money will go to our grandkids instead, held in trust until they turn 25. I've set aside enough for your care for the rest of your life. You'll never need them. You'll never have to depend on children who see you as a bank account." "I'm so sorry, Linda. Sorry I had to plan for this. Sorry our kids became people we don't recognize. But I promise to take care of you for better or worse, in sickness and health. I meant until death and beyond." His smile was gentle now. "You're strong. Stronger than you think. This isn't the ending you deserved, but you'll survive it. Find joy anyway. Find peace. Find people who love you. For you, not for what you can give them. You deserve that. I love you, sweetheart. I'll always love you." The video ended. I sat in the bank's conference room and sobbed. David quietly left me alone for a few minutes. Janet held my hand. When I finally looked up, David was on his phone. "I've already contacted the buyer's agent," he said. "Informed them the sale is fraudulent. I've also filed an emergency injunction. The sale is stopped. What about my children? That's up to you. But legally, they violated the trust terms. They attempted to claim your assets. The no contest clause is triggered, unless you decide to waive it." "What would Tom want?" David looked at me steadily. "Based on that video, I think Tom wanted you protected, even from them." I went home 3 days later, to my house. My home. Janet helped me settle in. The garden was overgrown. The deck needed repairs. But it was mine. Michael called that evening. His voice was tight. We need to talk. Yes, we do. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're making a huge mistake. That house is too much for you. We're trying to help. Help yourselves, you mean? That's not fair. You tried to sell my house while I was unconscious in a hospital bed, Michael. You forged power of attorney documents. I didn't forge anything. You signed a medical directive, not financial control. Your lawyer lied to you, or you lied to me. Either way, you tried to steal my home. Silence. The house isn't in my name, I continued. Your father put it in a trust years ago. You have no claim to it. And because you tried, because you violated the terms of that trust, you've disqualified yourself from your inheritance. What? All three of you. You get nothing. Not now, probably not ever. The trust money will go to your children instead, when they turn 25. Your father's life insurance, the investments, everything. It goes to them, not you. You can't do that. I didn't do it. You did. Your father predicted this. He knew what you'd become. He protected me from you. Michael's voice went cold. If you do this, you'll never see your grandchildren again. Then I guess I raised you exactly as poorly as you turned out. Goodbye, Michael. I hung up. Rebecca, 38, was in Boston. Sarah, 34, just outside of Portland. All successful, all busy, all very, very far from their mother in Sacramento. I tried calling Michael first. Voicemail. Rebecca. Voicemail. Sarah picked up on the 5th ring. Mom, hey, I can't really talk right now. Meeting in 5 minutes. I just got out of surgery, I said. My voice sounded thin. I know, Michael texted me. You're okay though, right? They said you're fine. I'm alive. 10 and 8 years old. They ran to hug me, and my heart broke a little. The girls missed you, Sarah said. They wanted to visit you in the hospital, but I didn't think it was appropriate. But ambushing me with them now is? Sarah's face hardened. I'm trying to fix this. Michael told me what you did, what Dad did. It's not fair. Your father left his money to his grandchildren. That seems perfectly fair to me. We're his children. Then act like it. You tried to take my home, while I was helpless, vulnerable. You calculated how much money you'd make off selling it. Don't pretend this was about my well-being. Emma tugged on my sleeve. Grandma, are you mad at Mommy? I knelt down, wincing at the pain from my incision. I love you, sweetheart, and Sophie, always. But not me, Sarah said bitterly. I don't know who you are anymore. I told her honestly. The daughter I raised wouldn't have done this. She grabbed her girl's hands and left. Emma looked back at me, confused. I waved. The months that followed were hard. My children tried everything. Lawyer letters, threats. Sarah showed up twice more with the grandkids, trying to guilt me into changing my mind. Michael sent me articles about elderly stubbornness and cognitive decline. Rebecca stopped speaking to me entirely, but I held firm. David assured me the trust was ironclad. Tom had done his homework. Every attempt they made to challenge it just reinforced the no contest clause. After 6 months, their lawyers apparently told them to stop. They were only making it worse. Janet convinced me to join a community center for seniors. I was reluctant at first, but I found friends there, real friends. People who invited me to book clubs and garden tours and day trips to the coast. People who called to check on me, who showed up when I needed help. I sold some of Tom's tools and sports equipment, donated his clothes, kept his wedding ring and his watch. I hired a landscaper to help with the garden, fixed the deck, painted the guest room, made the house mine in a way it hadn't been since Tom died. On what would have been our 43rd anniversary, I drove to the cemetery, sat by Tom's grave with 2 cups of coffee, like we used to share every morning. You were right, I told him, about everything. I didn't want to believe it, but you were right. The wind moved through the trees. I miss you. Every single day. But I'm okay. Better than okay, actually. The house is beautiful. I'm taking a watercolor class. Janet and I are planning a trip to Napa next month. I'm living, Tom. Like you wanted. I poured out the second cup of coffee on his grave. Like a toast. Thank you for protecting me. Even when I didn't know I needed it. Even from our own children. That took courage. And love. So much love. Last month, Emma called me. Not Sarah, Emma. She's 16 now. Grandma, can I ask you something? Of course, honey. Mom says you cut us off. That you chose money over family. But I remember when I was little you always had time for us. Always. So I don't think that's true. My throat tightened. It's not true, Emma. Your grandfather left money in trust for you and Sophie. When you turn 25, you'll each get it. It'll help you with college, or a house, or whatever you need. That was his gift to you. Mom says we won't see any of it unless we convince you to change your mind. Your mother can't access that money. Neither can I. It's yours, protected. No matter what anyone says or does, when you turn 25, it's yours. A long pause. Did my mom really try to sell your house while you were in the hospital? I closed my eyes. Yes. That's really messed up, Grandma. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry she did that to you. And just like that, I started crying. Thank you, sweetheart. That means more than you know. Can I come visit you? Just me? Mom doesn't have to know. Anytime. My door is always open for you. She came last week. We spent the afternoon in the garden, planting tomatoes. She asked about her grandfather, and I told her stories. Good ones, true ones. About the man who loved her before she was born, who worked so hard to protect her future. He sounds amazing, she said. He was, and he'd be so proud of you. When Sarah found out about the visit, she called me screaming. How dare I go behind her back? How dare I manipulate her daughter? I let her rant for 5 minutes, then quietly said, Emma called me. She wanted to see her grandmother. I'm not going to turn her away. If you keep this up, you'll keep me from my grandchildren? You already did that, Sarah. 6 years ago when you decided my house was worth more than my dignity. She hung up. I don't know if my children will ever understand what they did, what they tried to do. I don't know if they'll ever apologize, or if I'd accept it if they did. Some betrayals cut too deep. Some wounds don't heal just because time passes. But I know this. Tom loved me enough to see what I couldn't. To prepare for a possibility I refused to believe. To protect me from the people who should have protected me. And I know that on quiet mornings, when I drink my coffee on the deck Tom built, watching the sun rise over the garden we planted together, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, in my home, on my terms. Surrounded by people who chose to love me, not people who felt obligated to tolerate me while waiting for me to die. My children wanted my house. What they didn't understand is that this was never just a house. It's 42 years of memories. It's proof that love existed here once, and still does. It's my husband's final gift to me, wrapped in legal documents and trust clauses, but really just a love letter that said, you matter. You are worth protecting. Live. So I do. Every single day, I live.